The four-way title match was, and they did a nice history package, right? And we got, but we get a lot of filler even on these pay-per-views now between the plugs and the different things. The girls' Rumble was out at an hour, 20 minutes into the show. And by the time they did a history package and got the four-way title match entrances in the ring and the introductions for that match done, it was 20 minutes in between. So, and also during before LA Knight's entrance, they cut from AJ Styles' entrance to an LA Knight and Bianca Belair Slim Jim commercial shot on location, some fucking where, with actors. We got a commercial in the middle of the introductions. Do they do that in the UFC?
I haven't watched the UFC in a while.
I don't remember them going from, and here's the next competitor coming into the octagon, and all of a sudden that guy, they're playing a fucking commercial for goddamn Reese cups or whatever. Anyway, when they rang the bell for this match, obviously, as I said, 20 minutes after the previous match had ended, it's a four-way. AJ Styles, LA Knight, Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns for the title. And you can't really describe the play-by-play on this or what the story was that was being told, because while as we've established, it's a great idea to have four of your top guys, or maybe the four top guys, fight for the title. That's a great idea, but then you have to have the match. And these guys they're all over, and their work is excellent, great technically. And these guys probably do a four-way match as well as you can do a four-way match. But it's moves, it's not a match. You can't suspend your disbelief. The rules are ridiculous. People just jump in and begin wailing away on fucking people in the match that are not in the match, and the referee has to turn around because it's no disqualification. You can beat a guy who's not the champion and still win the title. So I can't. But I love all these guys. Well, I love everybody but AJ. I kind of like AJ. But as far as being a top level guy, he was the one that you figured if they were going to beat anybody, they should beat him. And eventually that's what happened. But, they're having their match, and then they just take these right turns where Solo comes out and pulls the referee to the floor to break the count when it looks like Orton's going to win the thing and beat Roman. And then Solo spikes Orton, and it gets in the ring and spikes LA Knight and puts LA Knight on top of Orton, and the referee's just walking around limping, and the announcers are saying, well, it's no disqualification, so you can't do anything about this. And then Solo charges AJ, but AJ moves and Solo goes through the barricade. And then AJ blasts Roman and covers all three of them, and all three of them kick out. And then that's the thing. Everybody's got to hit their goddamn move and turn. They use a chair. And then finally, LA Knight hits the belly to back, hits the LA elbow on Roman, goes for the BFT. So many initials here. But Roman pushes LA into AJ, and then Superman punches LA and then spears AJ. 1, 2, 3. So for a four-way match of any kind, it was fine, but for a dramatic world championship wrestling match between a dominant champion and a fucking fireball challenger or whatever, it's not close to what you can do there in a single match. It just happens till it quits happening. Am I being too hard on it?
Again, the crowd reactions hurt things all night, I think. Especially here. I thought the action really got interesting towards the end. If you can get past the fact that it was a sloppy mess, the way things were kind of timed and the way big moves were hit.
Yes, they were doing it very well.
They were doing it really well, especially at the end. Although the finish kind of fell a little flat. I don't know, you couldn't have had Roman beat one person and just had a good singles match? It's kind of a waste of a few of these guys. The Rumble could have used them, quite frankly.
I mean, this was... when we first started doing the monthly pay-per-views, whenever that fucking was, and in early '96 when I joined, they'd started. It'd been 6 months by that point when I joined the creative team, and this would have been what Vince would have described in those days as like the in your house main event or the B level paper, like a February pay-per-view or a May pay-per-view. Don't waste your big singles match that will really draw the money and that everybody wants to see. Give them a multiple person match or whatever. But this is the Royal Rumble. How much bigger can you get, right? So it's just a lot of these things have become habits because they've been doing it for so long. And unfortunately, I think now that is bred upon itself to where they just think, well, this is the way we've always done it. And everybody just expects, okay, we don't really care about seeing the matchup between Ali and Frazier as much as we care about seeing 6 guys with boxing gloves in there swinging away at each other with chairs. It's not the big match anymore. It's just the fucking overbooked match. I don't know.
It was like they wanted Roman on this show and they wanted these guys on the show, but who comes out of this match for the better, really? It's not really. It doesn't really feel like a big Roman Waynes. Roman Waynes win.
Roman Waynes win?
It doesn't feel like one of those. I mean, no one's talking about Roman Reigns' match or anything.
He was hardly in this. All the attention was on which of the other 3 was going to fight each other or fuck each other around. But that's the thing is, if you like all of these guys doing all of their moves to everybody, and they gave it at least some element. It's not like one of the Trampoline Cowboys productions over in the Indies or AEW, same thing. Whereas at least AJ is in a gray area now where he's, being heelish. LA Knight and Randy Orton, even though they're both full-fledged baby faces, still have a reason that they can grate on each other because LA's a new guy. He's come in since Orton was gone. They don't know each other. And then Roman's full-fledged heel and blah, blah, blah. So there are at least the right dynamics in this, and it's not just a spot fest per se where everybody's doing ridiculous vaulting and aggressive parkour, but it doesn't make sense as a wrestling match. You can't.
You said AJ's in a gray area. I understand he's very big with the gray community.
What do you mean the gray community? What are you talking about? So now we're 2 hours into the program and we have literally seen the end of the second match, right?